Welcome to Elementary Algebra by Harold Jacobs. I'm your presenter, Molly Crocker. Today we are going to do a very brief introduction to the TI-83 or TI-84 graphing calculator. This is my TI emulator. It is modeled after the TI-84 Plus CE, and so some of the things that you'll see here, like this strip across the top of your screen, will not be the same. You will not see that strip across the top of your screen on many of the TI-83 or 84 calculators. Then your calculator will look like this, of course, but I'm going to put the screen side by side with the keypad. Let's start this demonstration by turning your calculator on. So there's the on button down here. And if you wish to turn your calculator off, you'll notice that off is in blue right above on. How do you get those things that are in blue on top of many of these keys? You press the second button and then the on button, and that will have turned your calculator off. Now you'll see that my calculator didn't technically turn off. And this up arrow is blinking here. That tells me that the last operation that my calculator recognized was that second button, which gives you the word or operation that's above a button. If I want the second button to go away, maybe I pressed it by accident, then I press the second button again, and that turns that operation off. So on and off. Let's start by entering a few things on your calculator. Let's do 4 plus 7. And you'll notice that the key press history is here on my screen, and you can follow it out. Then if you want your calculator to evaluate this, simply press Enter. 11. That's how it should look. On the older TI-83 operating systems, it will typically not draw this dotted line. You'll just have 4 plus 7 and 11. Let's try 4 minus 7 and press Enter. All right, -3. And note about the operations. The operations add, subtract, multiply, and divide are on the right-hand column. So what's this thing down here? Well, that's a negative button, and if I want to do 4 take away -7, I will get this, 11. 4 take away -7 is indeed 11. Notice that the subtract sign and the negative sign are a little bit different from each other in that the negative is 1 pixel higher and 1 pixel shorter than subtract. Let's do a little bit more. What if I do 4 minus -7 and when I meant a subtract? Let's see what happens. Press Enter. Well, that's 28. How can you get 28 from 4 times 7? You would have to multiply those two together, but I had 2 negatives in there. Well, okay. 2 negatives is -1 times -1. That would be +1. So 4 times 1 times 7 would indeed be 28. So what is happening when you are using that negative button? It's operating like multiply by -1. So 4 take away -7 is 4 subtract -1 times 7. Yes, that will be 11. Here is a piece of word processing document, and I'm going to talk about some of the expressions that you see here, and we'll work through with them on our calculator. What if you have something in print that you see in a book that has braces and brackets? Braces are these square corner things. Brackets are these curly Q things. And what if we want to enter something like that on your calculator? Well, you will want to translate those braces and brackets to parentheses. So this one is going to start with 3 left parentheses in a row. Where's the parenthesis button? It's right here. 3 left parentheses in a row. What next? 4 times 3. 4 times 3. And then I want to write parenthesis and then minus, as in subtract, not negative. And then 7 and a parenthesis and an end parenthesis. 7 end parenthesis. Then divide by 5. Divide by 5. And that comes out to be 1. Now, for every start parenthesis, you should have it matched up with an end parenthesis. I think I forgot one. What happened? Well, the last one, the last parenthesis, if you did not include it, would be assumed by your calculator. Let's say I need to go back and stick that parenthesis in. There is a way to edit your work, your entry. And the way to do it, you see that entry button right down here above the enter button? How do I get something in blue? I press the second button and then the enter button. There it is. Now I can add my end parenthesis and it should come out the same, 1. So if you had an if you wanted or needed an end parenthesis at the end and you forgot to put it, it's okay to forget it when it's at the end, but if it's in the middle, it's not okay. Let's try another entry. Let's do some fractions. 17 take away 8. 17, 1, 7, take away 8. All of that divided by what? 6? 6. And if I press enter, 15. Wait, 17 take away 8/6 would be 15. But if 17 minus 8 should be evaluated first, what should this have come out to be? 17 take away 8 should be 9. Well, what happened? Your calculator does the order of operations and knows the order of operations, but what you must remember is that in a fraction with lots of things on the top or lots of things on the bottom, the fraction bar acts like a grouping symbol. You must supply the grouping symbol. So let's talk about how to do that here. Let's keep the entry that I got. This would be quicker to just redo, add the parentheses as I go, but I'm going to show you how to edit an entry. So I want that entry back, second, and enter, and I'm going to navigate using my navigation keys back on top of the first digit. And up here, this button is delete, and that one is insert. I want to insert a start parentheses. So second and insert, then you'll see the cursor is blinking on top of the first digit. If you type a start parenthesis there, it will insert it in front of the digit that's blinking. Where do I want an end parenthesis? I want an end parenthesis after the 8, so I must navigate on top of the divide sign, second and insert, and an end parentheses. Now, you don't need to navigate off the end of your line. Just press enter. 1.5. That makes more sense. 17 take away 8 is 9. 9 divided by 6 is 1.5. What if I want the answer back as a fraction? There's all kinds of goodies under this math menu. The very first one is give me the answer back as a fraction. So I'm going to pick that by choosing enter. Now, curiously, your calculator says, what do you want? The answer back as a fraction? Well, how do you say yes? You press enter one more time, and then I end up with 3/2. Notice that's a top-heavy fraction. In algebra, there are no improper fractions. There are only top-heavy fractions. We actually like top-heavy fractions as opposed to mixed numbers. Let's talk about a mixed number. I'm going to go down here. 1 4/5. So let's get 1 4/5 entered. Now, let's look at this expression again. 1 and 4/5. What word happened between the integer 1 and the fraction 4/5? If you say it out loud, you'll hear it. 1 and 4/5. And means add. So if we're going to put a mixed number on our calculator, then we must do 1 plus 4/5, like that. And yeah, that makes sense. 1.8 is 1 and 4/5. If you want the 1 and 4/5 multiplied to something else, then guess what? You must use parentheses. 1 plus 4 divided by 5, end parentheses, then times 8, enter. 14.4. That makes sense. 1 and almost 2, one more. 1 plus 1 is almost 2. So 2 times 8 would be close to 16. So this expression comes out to be 14.4. That is correct. What do we do if we want a messy number converted back to a fraction? Something like 17/7 or 17, yeah, let's do 17/7. 17 divided by 7. And we get this awful decimal. We are here, 17 divided by 7. We have this messy decimal. And I know where this came from, but let's pretend we don't. So we need to convert this number back to a mixed number. Well, first of all, you know that the digital or the integer part of the mixed number is 2. So let's subtract 2 from this number. And I get just the decimal portion now. Now let's ask for this part back as a fraction. So math, enter, enter, and 3/7. So this tells me this is 2 and 3/7. Did you catch that? 2 and 3/7. I subtracted the 2 to get just the decimal portion and then went to 3/7. All right, let's do exponents. What if you want to raise 3 to the 4th power, like that? So over here, 3, the raised to button is this, we call this a caret button, raised to the 4th power. And that's 81. That sounds right. Now I can do the squaring the same way. 3 raised to the 2nd power should be 9. But there is a shortcut squaring button, and it's 2 keystrokes less. 3 squared, enter. Well, maybe that's 1 keystroke less, but that squaring button sure is handy. If you want to raise a fraction to an exponent, something like 4/5. So what do you suppose you're going to need? Parentheses. So let's start with a start parentheses. 4 divided by 5 raised to the 3rd power. And I want the answer back as a fraction. Math, enter, enter. 64 125ths. That makes sense. 4 to the 3rd is 64. 5 to the 3rd power is 125. What if I forgot the fraction or the parentheses? If I just did 4, back up one. How do I clear something? Just click, navigate on top of it, click delete. 4 divided by 5, then raised to the 3rd power. Well, and then ask for the answer back as a fraction. Only the denominator got the 3rd power. Why? Order of operations. Exponents come before division. So the exponent got applied and then 4 divided by that number. So pay attention to your parentheses. Pay attention to your exponents. Be mindful of how your calculator is applying the order of operations. It does know the order of operations. That's all for now.